Hey everybody, Mazer here, and welcome back to another episode of The Small Table. Now, I had no intention of making another Small Table video so quickly, but I wanted to discuss this topic while it's still fresh and relevant. And basically, it revolves around the fact that after 17 years of being in production, with 7 seasons, a few specials, and even a music video, the Venture Brothers has been officially canceled. And that just like this year it keeps getting worse and worse for everybody. Like, we already have all the big bad things going on, but now like the small things are vanishing for a lot of people. And this one, for me included, just really sucks. So let's give a brief history of what just happened. A few days ago, somebody who works closely with Doc Hamner and Jackson Publick made a response to a tweet, and the tweet said, "Name a show that got canceled prematurely." And this guy responded with Venture Brothers. And now he actually works very close with the creators because he did the art book and all that. And everybody on the Venture Brothers Reddit and Twitter and everything just froze. We're like, whoa, 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 time out. There's always rumors that Venture Brothers gets canceled, but it always turns out to be false. But he responded with no comment can be made at this time, and we all were in very cautious shock. I mean, we've been fooled before, but then earlier today, Jackson Publick came out and on his Twitter officially announced that a few months ago, as they were writing season 8, it was made official by Adult Swim and, all the people in charge that Venture Brothers is, in fact, canceled. And this just sucks because I cannot describe to non-fans just how well done the Venture Brothers show is unless you see it. It's one of the very few animated shows where the creators allow the characters to age and to grow. Everyone knows that a lot of cartoons have the problem where the characters stay the same age throughout the entirety of the series. Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, for a majority of the Rugrats run, they were all the same age until, like all grown up. But not Venture Brothers. Venture Brothers breaks out of that mold. The characters evolve. You have one character who goes by the name of 21. He's a henchman for the main villain, the Monarch. And he started off as this pudgy, wimpy coward. And a few seasons later, he bulks up, becomes this like fighting expert, goes one-on-one with the Venture's bodyguard Brock, and holds his own, whereas everyone else who did so previously would die. And by the end of season 7, he is the Monarch's best man, number 2 in command, and just like they're so close, they're practically brothers by the end of the series. And in the beginning, the Monarch didn't even know 21's name. He didn't know 21 existed. And that's the kind of continuity that I love, At first, Hank and Dean are just these little carbon copies of like the Hardy Boys stuck in the 60s and 70s way of thinking with, boy, howdy, or you just cursed. Do you know how many baby angels you killed just now? Golly gee, But by the end of the series, they've both matured. They become different people. Hank wants to start businesses. He wants to live on his own. He wants to be successful and independent, and he wants to date women. Whereas Dean wants to have his own life in college and grow academically, and he struggles with this existential, like, who am I? I don't want to be a Venture my whole life. I want to be my own person. And they've actually grown quite apart, whereas in earlier seasons they were inseparable. But that's not really what I want to discuss. I want to share how I got into Venture Brothers. When it first premiered in 2003, I believe it was late 2003, I actually didn't like it at all. I really thought the animation was a little wonky. I thought the characters were trying too hard and being a parody of Johnny Quest. It just didn't really flow with me. In fact, the only reason I watched it was because other TV shows like Harvey Birdman or Space Ghost Coast to Coast or Mission Hill would be on after Venture Brothers on Adult Swim. So I'd watch Venture Brothers just to get to the shows I like. It wasn't until season one's finale that the show finally caught my interest. And spoilers, just a heads up, but at the end of season one, they kill off Hank and Dean. They accidentally shoot a bazooka rifle type of thing at them, blowing up their hover cars, and they're dead. And even though I didn't like the show, I was like, whoa, time out, hold on. Did they just kill off their main characters? Did they seriously just pull that? So, without me intending to, I kept an eye open for the next season of Venture Brothers, and when it aired, I just had to see what they did next. If they were willing to kill off the main characters, what was going to happen in the season two? And it wasn't until the, I believe the episodes Viva los Muertos, near the end of season two, where Venture creates Venturestein, which is his basic version, his version of a Frankenstein monster. And they introduced the Scooby-Doo gang, except they're not the Scooby-Doo gang that we love. They are kind of like loosely based off serial killers. Like Shaggy is kind of the son of Sam, and Fred is, I think he was supposed to be Ted Bundy or, Jeffrey Dahmer. And Daphne's this poor, rich, kidnapped girl, whereas Velma is supposed to be this radical from, I think, the 70s, who wrote these manifestos about how to sterilize men and have a pro-woman society. I'm not up on the history. And that's when it hit me. That's when it clicked. Venture Brothers was not parroting just Johnny Quest. It was parroting this entire concept of adventurers, of these old school cartoons where nobody blinks if a man in a lizard suit shows up, or if men are dressed up as frogs or walking eyes or mega scientists and super villains. It's like, oh yeah, okay, he's a super villain. Okay, let's go. The rest of our day he's going to bother that guy. And they created this world where this is common, making fun of these old cartoons. And that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, I get it now. Mind you, I still enjoyed a lot of season two, but it wasn't until the Scooby-Doo episode where it finally dawned on me. I know it was very late into the series when I got the joke. And then at the end of season two, they introduced David Bowie as the leader of the Guild of Calamitous Intent. I'm like, whoa, what? And on top of that, he still shapeshifts just like in Labyrinth. And he had Klaus, the singer Klaus, and oh heck, I forget the other guy's name. Iggy Pop, that's right. Iggy and Klaus were his henchmen, and they both had special powers. And again, season two ended on a cliffhanger. Gotta go into season three. And then every season after that got better and better and better. But it wasn't until season six where my enjoyment for the show started to wane. And it was mostly because when season six was announced, they said we'd only get 8 episodes. For those of you who don't know, there's only 7 episodes spanning 17 years of show. And the reason for this is uh, Jackson and Doc do everything in-house. It's a very small team that works on Venture Brothers. And they have complete creative control. And those two are the only writers that I know of who do a majority of the show. And they keep it very small. And they want to make sure that when they write an episode, they write, good continuity, good character development, and it takes a lot of time. So Venture Brothers had a 2 to 3 year waiting period in between seasons. And we went from like 13, 14, 20 episodes a season all of a sudden down to 8. So when season 6 finally came out, I saw the first episode, and mentally I think to myself, well, I got 7 episodes left. Next week, got 6 episodes left. Next week, 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, there we go. We're done. I got to wait 3 more years for season 7. I was very grumpy. I was very irritable. It was disheartening to wait so long for just 8 episodes, 30 minutes each. But then everything changed when season 7 came out, and oh my Jesus, these two guys, man, they just went above and beyond our expectations for quality writing. Season 7 was just a non-stop roller coaster. I mean, things from season 1, season 3, season 4, all these loose ends were coming together. And it basically boils down to we only have 3 things left to discuss. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, most importantly, and that is basically, why does the Monarch hate Doc Venture? Who is the boy's mother? I know they say her name, but there's still more there. And who is Scare Bear? Now let me explain the Scare Bear thing, and maybe you'll understand this detail and continuity. In one of the seasons, Hank works for a now villain called Professor Impossible. And they're interviewing villains to join their gang called the Revenge Society. And as they're doing these interviews with New York's hottest villains, this guy shows up in a bear costume, drenched with blood, with a big ass knife. And all these hardcore villains are like, so, you're terrifying. I mean, these guys have murdered dozens of people, and yet this dude in a bear costume scares them like nothing else. It's pretty funny. But then they bring Scare Bear back in another episode where you see him in the background of a party hosted by other villains at Dr. Venture's compound. But then, out of nowhere, I believe it's the second to last episode of season 7, Hank gets a head injury, passes out in the snow, and Scare Bear suddenly shows up and carries Hank to Dean's dorm, as if Scare Bear knew who Hank was and also what was going on in Dean's dorm, and Scare Bear wanted Hank to find out. Now the fan base is like, whoa, time out, who is the Scare Bear character? It's not a background character anymore. This character is integral to the plot. This joke side thing from several seasons ago is now integral. It's now part of the storyline, and now we need to know who is Scare Bear. Some people believe it might be Brock from the future. Some people might think it's the Dean and Hank's mother. Other people think it might be Hank grown up from the future to save past Hank. We don't know. And sadly, we may never know. I understand from a studio standpoint, having a 3-year production time is a bit much. But the quality of the show is second to none. The fan base is rabid. We love the show so much. And to cancel it before we get even one final season is heartbreaking. Luckily, Adult Swim did release a tweet today saying that they have been working very closely with Doc and Publick to figure out a way to have Venture Brothers continue. They're very vague about this. We don't know if they're passing, Venture Brothers off to another streaming service. We don't know if they're working to develop maybe a movie or one final special, something to wrap it up. But whatever it is, Adult Swim and, everyone else doing the hashtags, I just really hope that we get closure. This is not some show that got canceled after 1 or 2 seasons. This has been going on for 17 years. I mean, God, I'm flashbacking to everything that's happened to me in 17 years. And Venture Brothers has been there like, Jesus, almost half my life. Venture Brothers has been around. So that's a thing. Anyways, I think we deserve closure. The fans deserve closure. We deserve something. I wouldn't even mind if it was a comic book. But we can't leave it the way season 7 ended. Again, every season's a cliffhanger. So I really hope that Adult Swim does pull through and help the staff at Venture Brothers come up with a solution on how to end the series. But I'm rambling now. I didn't intend this video to be so long. It's just, I've always been passionate. I try to get so many friends into the show. And again, it's hard to describe. It's like you got to sit down and watch it because there are so many threads from every season that connects to each other. And on top, let's just ignore the continuity. It's funny. It's smart. It's clever. A lot of people quote Venture Brothers around me. Some of my good friends were all quoting Hank and Dean and Brock and the Monarch. I mean, my favorite line from Hank is, why do you have to be the screen door on my submarine, Brock? And I use that all the time in my daily life, either at work or at home, where someone disappoints me. I'm just like, man, why are you the screen door on my submarine? And then, of course, recently I've been quoting Shore Leave, which is, no, not Shore Leave. Hunter Gatherers. You're pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining. You're vomiting in my hair and saying it's shampoo. It's a quotable show. It's just a damn good show, people. If you haven't seen Venture Brothers, it's on Hulu. All 7 seasons. Do yourself a favor and just give it a watch. Season 1, again, like every other show in the world, season 1 is finding its footing, but it takes off really quickly. In fact, I feel really bad now that I didn't give season 1 a better chance at the time, because I'm rewatching it now. I'm like, crap, this is much better than I remembered. So there you have it, man. We have bad news. Venture Brothers is canceled. It sucks. Hopefully we find out something else later in the future, and if we do, I'll try my best to do a small table discussion about it. But at the end of every episode, I want to ask you guys something and then go on from there. And today I want to say, what is your favorite Venture Brothers moment? What was your favorite quote? What's your favorite character? Just tell me something about Venture Brothers that you love. Okay? That's all I ask. Put it in the comments. Let's have a huge Venture Brothers fanboy joygasm and celebrate one of our favorite shows, okay? Don't you dare jump. I thought my camera... No, come here. Jesus, it's not the dog, it's the cat. Yeah, so put that in the comments, okay? And remember, stay tuned after the video for our wholesome photo of the day. But until then, Ventureroos, I am Mazer. Thank you all for supporting me. Remember to like and subscribe. And if there's any topics you want me to discuss on Small Table, let me know. I am Mazer, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.